Hello and welcome to another free.volous episode. Today I'm going to do an up close and personal on the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. Why? Because as you may know, Fenty products, a Fenty new brand, was launched a few weeks ago. You may have noticed because the internet was flooded with reviews. And as usual, Portugal was left out. Oh, the news. So I can't get a hold of that product to review it, and anyway there are plenty of reviews on their products everywhere. But Stephanie Nicole, and I'll leave a link down below, did a very thorough, as usual, review on several of their products, and she mentioned she found similarities between the Fenty Beauty Foundation and this one from Catrice. The first big chunk of ingredients were the same and in the same order, so the amounts proportionally will be about the same of each ingredient, and this is made in a factory in Italy, the same as Fenty, some of Fenty's products, and especially that foundation. So I was really curious, and because I couldn't get the Fenty foundation to review and compare, which would be the video I would like to do, I decided to buy this. This costs €8.50 or something around there here in Portugal. It's you can find it in most pharmacies, drugstores, it depends on wherever you live, and I had to give it a run. So I'm wearing it right now. I've just filmed the application and all of that, and I'll give you my reviews throughout the day. As usual, I will do extremely close-up shots so that you can see all the nakedness and sadness of my skin, but also how it performs on me. Let me remind you, I'm combo, acne prone because of hormonal acne. I have scarring, flat scars mostly, so I have hyperpigmentation concerns, aging skin, so wrinkles, and since my skin is combo, it can go both ways. It can go really dry and flaky and patchy in some areas and quite oily on the center, on the sides of my nose. It's not too hot today, so I don't know how that part will go, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If this is your first video, hi, I'm the free.volous and I do beauty reviews because nobody is doing that. And also tutorials and stuff like that. So if you'd like to subscribe, you know what to do, and I'll be so thankful. And I give you my truth, my experiences, and no sugarcoating because I don't think we need that. So let's just give you the website from Catrice. Doesn't say a lot, but I'll let you know what it says. High but natural coverage, liquid ultralight texture, a perfect flawless appearance up to 24 hours, and vegan. That's all they say, at least in the Portuguese version of the website. And I know this is a demi-matte or matte because it says mattifying and second skin effect on the bottle. Lightweight, non-oily texture that feels like a second skin, provides a long-lasting full coverage without mask effect, and creates an even complexion with high definition finish for camera-ready skin. Dermatologically tested, shake before use. So that's what it says on the bottle. It is a glass bottle, 30 mils of foundation here, yeah, 1 fluid ounce. It has a dropper, which I'm not the biggest fan, but it has sort of a stopper, so you don't get a lot of product running all over. It's as clean as it gets when it comes to this kind of product. That's all I can say. These only come in 4 shades, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm wearing the darkest, which is for 40 warm beige, and that's just appalling in my opinion. What are you doing, Catrice? You can do better. This is a very, I think, small brand, at least here in Portugal. But anyway, there is no excuse comparing to Fenty Beauty. The amount of colors that they provide and undertones and shading and whatnot is amazing. You will pay a lot of money for that also, but this only comes in 4 quite light shades, which is only sad. Let's jump into the application and I'll see you in a bit. So here we go. I'm going to do things a little bit differently just to get a sense of different outcomes. On one side of my face, this side, I'm going to apply a primer that is slightly moisturizing. And this is the Emma Hardy Amazing Face Protect and Prime. This is an SPF, which is its main component, and it's quite hydrating without being too heavy, but it always delivers a little bit of extra moisture to the skin. And on the other side, I'll apply it on my bare face just with my skincare as usual. And I'm also going to apply it to my forehead as usual, because I want to see how it settles on my lines, although I usually don't apply product on my forehead. On one side I'm going to use a brush to apply it, on the other one a beauty sponge as my main way of application, just so that you can see the different kind of finishes that you can get. I will then top up with my favorite, so that everything is even. I'm going to shake it, just have a couple of drops on the back of my hand. As you can see, it's a fluidy texture. Now I'm going to take the brush first, apply it on this area here. I'm topping up, so you'll have to use quite a fair amount if you want a bit more coverage. And I'm just covering my scars on this side and seeing how it builds on my problem areas. This side is done. You can still see my blemishes. I will try to apply one more drop with my fingers for these kind of specific pinpoint concealing areas, and I'm applying a little thin coat over my forehead. So I hope you can see some difference. I think the camera is picking up more shine than in real life, but it has a fair medium coverage that from afar looks really airbrushed. Because this has a sort of slightly more matte finish, although on camera this looks quite shiny, I don't know why. I'm not going to take it underneath my eyes because it's going to look really crepey and cakey. I'm going to take a little bit more onto my fingers and I'm going to apply it on the other side. As you know, I don't like to apply it directly with a sponge. I like to dab the product with my fingers and then go in with the damp sponge just to set it in place. And because this foundation is really fluidy, if your favorite method of application is the sponge, I would say go first with a little bit on your fingers, or else it will just soak up a lot of product. First layer is done. I don't notice a lot of difference between the two areas. Maybe this one is slightly more sheer, but it looks a bit more smooth also. So here we are, my whole face covered. This side is a sponge, this side is the brush. I honestly don't notice a lot of difference with this specific foundation on the finish. I'm going to take a little bit extra on my finger, just like so, and I'm going to dab it on this big one here and on this area, which is also always really dark, and around my nose. Yeah, you can still see through the area there. But yeah, this gives sort of a medium-high coverage with a very airbrushed effect. It sets to a matte finish. This area here of my face has a tough time to have some products adhere to it, which is weird. Let's see if a little bit extra will cover it. Not really. I can still see the bald spot. You can't actually really build it up to a full coverage, I would say. It looks a bit more thick when applying it with a brush. So here we are. It is 12:13 and this is the finished result. It feels like nothing on the skin, to be honest. It feels set onto the skin without feeling tightening or drying. I don't feel the need to powder this. I may powder one of the sides just to compare. The side with the primer feels slightly more smooth in terms of texture, but on this side it feels like I can touch my skin, and on this side I don't know, it feels like there's a thin layer. So the primer is actually creating a difference in touching in the texture. But seeing from afar, I don't notice any difference. This does not cover red raised bumps on your face, just so you know. This big one is still showing. But when it comes to flat surfaces on your skin, and even the pores, they look really nice. I'll do the rest of my makeup and I'll be back. So I've just applied my makeup. This performed as I thought it would, because this is a foundation that sets matte and that it actually sets onto the skin. I applied cream highlighter and a little bit of cream contour, and it was just dabbing motions because I would feel it would disrupt foundation. I applied powder, Kat Von D Lock-It, on this side of my face. It didn't seem to cake it up too much, but the driest areas I think started to show a little bit more, and I don't notice for now any sort of resounding difference between this side, which has been powder, and this side, which hasn't. The foundation really sets to a basically matte finish. I applied a little bit of concealer on my spot here just to see how it performed with layering concealers. I used my Urban Decay Naked Skin, which is usually my go-to concealer for spots, and I could see that it started to cake up a little bit also on that area. And I won't talk about my under eyes because no foundation, no concealer can do anything about this right now, because lack of sleep, dehydration, this is what happens to me at least. When it came to powder products, everything performed really nice on both sides. I didn't notice again any difference between the powdered side and the not powdered side. My bronzer and a little bit of blusher, everything went on really easily. You can see that it will start to crease on my laugh lines, but for now my forehead lines, so the horizontal lines, are not that affected. I don't know how it will go, and it also looks slightly cakey on the side of my nose. Nothing would stick to this patch here on my skin, but that's, some people have this kind of issue, so some patches where the products don't stick, and I'm having that issue right now. It comes and goes, and no product will stick to this area. My initial thoughts on the foundation: this looks really nice with a thin veil. When you start to build it up, it starts to lose its natural look, which is really beautiful in my opinion. So I wouldn't build this foundation up too much. Yes, you can build it up, but you will lose natural looking points. It sets to a demi-matte, basically matte finish, but it doesn't look unnatural, and your skin really looks airbrushed. It won't be able to cover blemishes, redness without a little bit of help. This, for now, I think is a good one all-rounder if you like this kind of matte finish, and if you don't need a huge amount of coverage, or if you don't use foundation to achieve that amount of coverage. So these are my thoughts for now. I'll check in a few hours and I'll let you know how it goes. See you in a bit. Hi, so this is my check-in in natural lighting. As you can see on both sides, everything that I've put on top of this foundation is still there. The foundation is still going strong in terms of coverage. Nothing is slipping and sliding around. I've been touching my face a bit because I've been editing and working on other stuff, but other than that, everything is still in place. I do look quite a bit shiny, but not as bad as with other foundations. I just have this kind of skin that I need to blot throughout the day, so this is nothing unusual. The same with the creasing on the sides of my mouth, which is absolutely average for any kind of foundation really. I'm pleased to say that when it comes to horizontal lines, it doesn't seem to be creasing at all, so really chuffed about that one. Oh, and it's been about 5 hours, so I would say it's performing a bit better than most foundations around the same time. So pretty chuffed until now. See you in a bit. Good evening. It is now 10:29 p.m. So it's been about 10 hours since I've first applied the foundation. It's still on my face, and everything that I've applied on top of it, it's still here. So amazing lasting ability. if I were on a normal day, you know that usually foundations, if you followed this channel for a while, you know that usually foundations after the 6-hour mark start to fade on me, my face eats them up, and it didn't happen with this one. I usually carry a cushion foundation on my bag just because of that. I know that I will have to reapply eventually. It wouldn't have happened with this foundation, which I'm really pleased. When it comes to the shine, it got quite hot in the middle of the afternoon and I started to sweat. My oils came around, my face looked shiny, but it never looked too much. And as usual, I always carry blotting sheets, so that's not a concern for me. When it comes to creasing, it barely creased on my forehead. I applied a very light layer, as you may have seen, and that's a hint for not creasing. The areas where I've applied more product, which are my cheeks, I have a bit more creasing, but nothing out of the ordinary for me on the sides of my lips. It didn't start to crumble, it didn't start to fade in any area. It stayed really even all over my face, and it felt like nothing throughout the whole day. Yes, I can feel the oils on my skin when I touch it, but the foundation itself, before my skin got oily, didn't feel like was transferring at all, and it felt really lightweight and like there was nothing there, and it kept that feeling throughout the day, which is really important to me because I don't like the feeling of touching my face and knowing that the foundation is immediately going to come off, which happens with plenty of them. So I feel that this is a great foundation. Actually, I wasn't expecting to like it that much, but yeah, this is way up there with some of my favorite high-end foundations, and this is €8.50 in Portugal. So yeah, biggest downside with this foundation is that it only comes in 4 shades, which is ridiculous, and they're all light, and because of the coverage that this gives, you can't get away with it, you know, with a different shade. It still shows on your face because it has coverage. So if you're looking for something that has a matte finish, but that sort of becomes slightly a soft satin finish throughout the day with your natural oils, if you're looking for something with high medium coverage, not high coverage, but a higher medium coverage, this is good for you. You can't build it up too much, but you can always go over with a bit of concealer. If you need extreme coverage from your foundation, this is not for you. But for every day, yeah, I would say this is great. And when it comes to fine lines, wrinkles, I didn't feel that this accentuated neither of them. I didn't feel this accentuated some of the dry patches that I have on my face. Yeah, it melted into my skin better than I thought, and the pores also weren't emphasized. So all round great foundation. If you have tried it, please leave on the comments down below your experience. We can all learn from each other's experiences because we're all different. Just mention your skin type and things like that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. If you want more videos like this, I have this one over here, which is the 24-hour Made to Stay makeup, also from Catrice, which always reminds me of Patrice from How I Met Your Mother. Who asked you, Catrice? And it says it lasts up to 24 hours, it has perfect coverage, and it's mattifying. If you want me to do a review on this one, just let me know. And thank you for spending your time on me, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!